Hey everybody, welcome to Mini Lessons with Mr. T. So today we're going to be talking about string changes, but before we talk about that, let's talk about the 7 levels of our instrument. So the levels are determined by the height of your elbow, and so the highest string is level 1, second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level is both of them, the bottom 2 strings together, sixth and seventh level. Now it's important that we keep that in mind in terms of the elbow being the determining factor of what level you are. Now for cello and bass, the highest string is the level's pretty high, right? And lowest level is our arms closer, notice the armpits closed. And for violin and viola, it's the opposite. So this is your highest string, and of course your lowest string is further away. Now it's really important that as we're thinking about string crossings, well, we also have to keep in mind having a straight bow. And so we have to make sure that when you're practicing, I would strongly suggest you practicing in front of a mirror, and cello and bass, make sure that you're facing this way for the middle 2 strings. Then if you want to practice on the low string, maybe the low 2 strings, angle it a little bit this way because it could be an optical illusion. Of course, violins and violas, when you're practicing, try not to stand in front of the mirror like this, but actually sideways so that you can see your angle. Now remember, if your angle is incorrect, you will be traveling in different lanes, right? And so you have to keep that in mind. And so before we do string crossings, it's really important that you know what angle your bow has to be in order to achieve a straight bow. A straight bow equals optimal sound. It's like plucking. You want to make sure you go sideways. If you go pluck like this, you're not going to get a sound. Same thing, if you bow like this, sound's not going to be very clear or no tone at all, right? So some of you, when you're playing on one string, sometimes maybe you might be good here, like towards the bottom half of the bow, but then you do something really a different angle, and then your bow is crooked, or vice versa. Maybe your bow looks great here, but then all of a sudden you do something weird towards the end. And so you want to make sure that your angle stays the same on all strings. Okay, so that's bow angle. Then of course string crossing. Well, then you have to figure out, well, if I'm on the C string, then I need to prepare the bow for the next string so that it's a straight bow. Okay, so instead of thinking, let's say we're on the C string or the lowest string for cello bass, this is the C string, right? And if you notice, based on the bookshelf right here, my bow's kind of like by the bottom of this bookshelf. But what I want to do actually is prepare the arm like this so that you're ready for the next string. What do I mean by that? So again, if I'm doing this and I want to prepare, notice how my arm's going up so that it can be smooth. We don't want this and then wait till the last minute. Why don't we want that? Because then our bow changes are not going to be very smooth. So we want to make sure that we always prepare for the string crossing. And notice I'm going out. What do I mean by out? Well, if we're here, let's say the tip, and this is straight, right? But then I go up, well, now the bow is not angled correctly. So actually for cello bass, we're kind of more focusing on this plane and doing that for us to be straight, okay? So those are the 7 levels, and of course, during this time, take the time to really hone in on just playing open strings and ensuring that your bow is straight and that you're traveling on the lane that you want. So if you're on lane 3, make sure you're on lane 3 the whole from the bottom all the way to the tip. The last thing that I want to talk about is collé, okay? Now if your fingers are nice and relaxed like this, right? Remember, we want to keep the naturalness. So then with collé, it's kind of this gesture. Notice my fingers get flat, kind of the tips are kind of touching my palm, and then I relax. I do this again, and I relax. Then, of course, you put your thumb and then in a way your thumb's kind of being squished by your fingers, and you relax. Now, what does this help you with? Well, also string crossings at a minimal level. So, for example, let's say, and you always, when you're doing collé, always be thinking about being on level 5, 6, and 7. So what do I mean by that? So again, it's dependent to figure out this level, and then you relax the fingers, and then bring them up. Did my elbow move? No, it did not. Now I go to the next level, and then I relax the fingers, bring them up. Same thing over here. So that is collé. Now, how should you practice this string crossing? This is what you have to do. So I want you to start, it could be in second lane, third lane, and you're going to do this. Slow string, the lowest string, and then go to the higher string. And prepare, notice I'm preparing even for the lower string. Here. And then I play this note again, and then higher string. And re-preparing the bow for the next string. Look at my arm right here, notice. And then notice I'm also preparing, and then go to the next string, D. And then, of course, you can also minimize, focus on the different parts of the bow. Like do the same exercise D8, so the bottom string, next string, and then do that string again, and then go up, and then do that on the lower half. Middle bow. Of course, you're not going to do it that fast. I'm just showing you so that we can. This video doesn't take too long. Then you do this. And of course, the goal again is making sure that your string crossings are very connected, and you prepare. And of course, the last one is do it in the tip and do that. That's it. I tried to make sure I zoom through the information. This video is not too long, and then hopefully I'll fill in some gaps as we go. So happy practicing, and take this time to really focus on the fundamentals, because then these will make a big difference in the future. I promise. All right, y'all, have a good day. Bye.